everybody, it's Miss Megan here, and I've got some of my friends here today, and we're going to read you a story. So I hope you enjoy The Funky Chicken, a bushy tale of Crocs and Chooks. It's written by Collin and illustrated by Megan Kitchen. Oh, funny that, another Megan. So let's see how we go. I hope my friends all behave themselves here while we read you the story, but I can't promise anything. Here we go. Funky Chicken. A long time ago, when the world wasn't old, bush animals gathered, or so it was told. A meeting was held that went on for a week to decide who amongst them was the most unique. They argued through daylight until it was late. They chose from all animals, enemy and mate. In 7 long days of ferocious debate, they picked their contenders, of whom there were 8. Let's see if we've got 8 friends here to help us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7. Let's read on a bit and see what happens. There was the kookaburra, who laughed from all day up high. Then there was the black cockatoo, with a piercing cry. Then there was the burrowing wombat, who lived in a log. A beautiful, slippery green tree frog. Swoop, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. The dangerous dingo with a teeth-gnashing bite. The bulgy-eyed possum who came out at night. And a sneaky old croc who would give you a fright. Snap, 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 snap. After the animals had all had their say, and the sun went to bed on the 7th day, the most unique creature of both great and small, far from minute, although not very tall, the rarest, the strangest, the weirdest of all. Wonder who that's going to be. Remember, I only had 7 friends here with me before? There must have been one hiding. I wonder who it might be. He was the rare funky chicken with a very odd call. I'm the funky chicken, the most unique. I'm the funky chicken, the most unique. Goodness gracious, what a crazy chicken. It's barely been seen though, the kookaburra cried. Barely been seen. That's not good. He can't be the rarest and the most unique. The cockatoo said, I'm sure the last one has died. The wombat was shaking his head in surprise. He couldn't believe that the funky chicken won the prize. I think he might think he should have won the prize. Yeah. The tree frog just frowned as she said, this is silly, and leapt in the water from high off a lily. Geez, they weren't very impressed, were they? Bulgy-eyed possum, who rarely ever spoke, said, good on you, chicken, you're not a bad bloke. He wasn't too upset. The dingo just howled and ran off in the night. Oh! In grave mortal fear of the crocodile's bite. But Dingo did not need to worry or stress. At that time, the crocodile couldn't care less. Old Croc wasn't hungry. He'd eaten before. He'd snacked on a bush pig at 4:15. He had a good look, though, a long, sneaky stare at that strange little creature standing up there, clucking and prancing and strutting around, the king of uniqueness, just newly crowned. I'm the funky chicken, the most unique. Goodness gracious. And Croc began thinking, I wonder, I do, if funky chicken tastes like grey kangaroo. I wonder. Or would he be more like a black cockatoo? Or one thing was for sure, though, the taste would be new. He had one last thought, slinking off into the night. To munch on that chook would be such a delight. Nom, 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 nom. Next morning, the animals woke up at dawn to a clamour that gave them no time to yawn. That chicken was strutting around like a freak, yelling, I'm the funky chicken, the most unique. I'm the funky chicken, the most unique. The animals stared, not knowing what to do. They couldn't believe all this hullabaloo. Maybe this chicken was best off in a stew. Kookaburra laughed, saying, what a strange fellow. The cockatoo said, he does seem a bit shallow. The wombat just couldn't believe his own eyes. The chook was so loud for a thing of its size. I'm a funky chicken, the most unique. I'm a funky chicken, the most unique. The tree frog said, Funky Chook is not cool. His jibber and jabber, he looks like a fool. The nocturnal possum just went off to sleep, high up in his tree in a small, furry heap. Funky chicken is cool, the most unique. Funky chicken is great. Then Dingo howled out, bring that chook over here. My breakfast can start with a chunk of his ear. Oh dear. That chook didn't listen to what they were saying. All day he went on with his bragging and braying. Funky chicken is great, funky chicken is grand, the coolest animal in all of the land. The clamour went on for the rest of the day. By night time they all wished he would just go away. There was one among them who wished him to stay. Old Croc had been watching him closely all day. Croc didn't care about old Dingo Dog or burrowing Wombat who lived in a log. Old Croc had other ideas on that night. He only had one creature set in his sight. The one thing that night that kept his lips licking. Yes, sneaky old Croc tried to eat Funky Chicken! Oh no! Watch out, Funky Chicken is coming! Although you now know Funky Chooks aren't too smart. They move very quickly when given a start. And with Lady Luck by his side on that day, the Croc missed his mark and the chook got away. You can't eat me, Croc, I'm far too unique. And he ran for the rest of the week. He ended up somewhere beyond Humpty Doo, on an egg farm with Bob and his lovely wife Sue. There he wound up with some chooks in a pen and the bush never saw Funky Chicken again. The one thing the animals learnt on that night, other than Crocs might eat Chooks in one bite, whilst it's nice to be famous just once in a while and strut around the bush with an "I'm famous" smile, sometimes it's best to take a lower profile to avoid being supper for a sly crocodile. Well, I think the Funky Chicken, in all his uniqueness, was very, very lucky that he got away from Mr. Crocodile in this story. So, one more thing from the Funky Chicken. I'm the Funky Chicken, the most unique. Bye-bye, everybody.